What's up everyone, it's Curtis YZ, and today I wanted to talk about 7.5 FK BRNO. A new pistol. I'm just going to be talking about the stats and how impressed I am by this weapon. To me, this weapon is a huge leap in firearm technology. Let's start off with the price point. Easy enough to remember, $7,500 for this pistol. Again, the gun's called 7.5 FK. But it's called 7.5 because the caliber is a completely new bullet. Its caliber is 7.5 millimeter, and that's roughly the same size as a Tokarev pistol round, 7.62 by 25. But the casing is about the size of a 10 millimeter or a 45 caliber, roughly the same size as that. But the bullet itself is about the size of a Tokarev caliber. So this pistol, they actually designed the cartridge first, the bullet, and then they built the pistol around the bullet. So this bullet was designed, and basically it was such a powerful bullet that they knew that they couldn't just stick this in any old barrel and put it in a pistol frame of any sort. Basically they knew that they needed a lot of advanced mechanical designs to be able to withstand the pressure of the bullet going through the barrel for a pistol-sized firearm. Now, if you look at a lot of velocity tests, the feet per second, the speed of the bullets, right? If you look at each caliber and what their speed is, it'll say tested out of a test barrel, and it'll say the length of the test barrel. And the reason they do this is get those numbers up as high as they can. They want to make their bullet look as efficient as possible, as for marketing purposes. They're shooting it out of a test barrel that's about the size of a rifle. Take that number, apply it to a pistol-sized barrel, which is a lot shorter, about 5 to 6 inches long, and those numbers go down drastically because basically a bullet, the longer it's going through a barrel, I forget what it's called, but you can't just keep making the barrel longer and longer. At some point, this no longer is a good thing and becomes a bad thing. But the longer the barrel, generally, the faster that bullet will finally come out of that barrel, because the pressure buildup, there's a whole bunch of science right behind it, but basically there's a pressure, and because of the length of the barrel, that bullet is being pushed through that with such pressure, kind of like a blow dart gun. It'll go flying out of there, and that's because of the pressure inside of that tube. But what I found so impressive, when I looked at the velocity, literally, I went to Wikipedia, said, let's look at the velocity of this caliber. I need to know what the speed of this caliber is. 2,000 feet per second. That is huge. I looked at the test barrel, and it said it was tested out of a 152 millimeter barrel, which, you know, I'm not very good with millimeters. So I'm like thinking, well, that's probably a longer barrel. So I just converted it real quickly just to find out. No, it's not a long barrel. That is 5.984 inches. That's a 6-inch barrel. They test fired their caliber out of the original barrel. The bullet was designed to be shot out of that barrel. So they tested it with that barrel, which again, they don't do that a lot because they want their numbers to look as good as possible. That bullet is going 2,000 feet per second out of a 6-inch barrel. Let me give you some perspective on what that means. I'm really impressed by Tokarevs, right? And their velocity. I love the Tokarev round. I think it's a really great caliber, and it has great specs. My Tokarev is probably spitting out bullets about 1,300 feet per second. Faster than 9mm, pretty much faster than every other pistol caliber out there, except for a 5.7 and some 22s and things like that. But the thing that I love about the Tokarev is that it's got an 85 grain bullet, a much heavier bullet than most fast-moving bullets. And that gives it a lot of power because it's got more weight than most of them, and it's still traveling very fast. You put that Tokarev round and you put it through a long barrel to give it the best velocity numbers that you can, and you're only going to push that bullet to about 1,900 feet per second. 19 maybe. Still not as fast as this new caliber going out of a 6-inch barrel. That's impressive. That the pistol caliber that I've been impressed by for years finally got outdone in almost every single category. In velocity, power, magazine capacity, what you name it. This pistol, the FK 7.5, super impressed by those stats. 16+1 magazine capacity. I mean, the thing is stupid expensive, obviously. The other thing, I love the way this gun looks. This thing looks like a Blade Runner pistol. Not only that, but I just love the detail on it. This is also why I'm so impressed. I'm kind of a hipster when it comes to my guns, and there's not a lot of new designs of firearms that I'm really impressed with. I always find them to be a little just trying too hard. They look too cool, and they don't look normal enough. And that's what I like old guns, because they don't look like they're trying too hard. They look normal, but yet they look really cool to me because of how technical and mechanical they look. I love that. It's kind of a steampunk look to old firearms, right? Well, this gun definitely has that. So again, just really impressed with both the stats, plus it actually has a freaking cool look. I mean, it just doesn't happen for me. I'm super impressed by this caliber. Tell me what you think. I'm pretty sure I got everything spec-wise out that I cared to explain. I'm just super impressed with those velocities. Again, 2,000 feet per second out of a 6-inch barrel compared to a Tokodive round going out of maybe a 17-inch barrel or something like that, a 20-inch barrel. It's gonna go, that Tokodive round is only gonna be traveling maybe 17 to 1900 feet per second. So it's still not. Oh yeah, that's one other thing I wanted to talk about, is the weight of the 7.5 caliber bullet is 95 grains. So it's a little bit heavier than the Tokodive round. The Tokodive, upon impact, it's going to be producing about 500 foot-pounds of pressure. And that's a lot, okay? The 1911 45 caliber is only gonna produce about 450-ish. So the Tokarev is a lighter bullet than the 1911's 45, but it's also going faster. So even though it's lighter, it's got so much speed and enough weight that it makes more foot-pounds of pressure than a 45 would. Now that's the impressive thing about speed, is that you increase the speed and lower the weight a little bit, and you might just end up with more power than the more heavy and slower speeds. But if you increase the speed and raise the weight, you get yourself, I mean, and again, that's why this gun is so advanced. That's not easy to do. They had to design the pistol around this caliber because of how hard hitting this. There's a lot of power in this bullet. Whoever made this gun, they really needed to design it really well so that it could handle this kind of a pressure. The 7.5 is hitting at about 800 plus foot-pounds of pressure. It's doubling a 1911's power. Now these things were designed mostly for military use. I would assume it's kind of like a pilot's pistol. Okay, say a pilot gets shot down and he's in enemy territory and he wants to fight for his life. Well, he's got a pistol and all the enemies got AK-47s or AR-15s, right? You're contending with rifles and all you got is a pistol. Well, this pistol was made to be able to shoot long distances and maintain that power at long distances for a pistol caliber. Now, they don't expect you to be shooting really far distances, but they have skinny sights to make it easy to shoot at farther distances. Just a lot of ingenuity and thought going into this pistol. Yeah, so it's just a really cool design that it's made for long-range shooting, and it's also made to contend with AKs and ARs. So I'm just, wow. This is, again, Blade Runner-y. It looks freaking like a Blade Runner pistol, man. This is one of the coolest things to come out of 2020 by far, let alone this century. I mean, when it comes to firearms, this is the coolest thing to me that has come out. I'm sure there'll be more, but man, I think I want this one. I just love that Blade Runner-y look to that gun. Anyways, that's it for me. Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching, everyone, and take it easy.